While we're talking elections, India's ruling party, the BJP, is facing an uphill task to retain power in 3 major states as the votes are counted in regional elections. The opposition Congress party is set to win in Chhattisgarh and has a slim lead in Rajasthan, and there's a close race between the two in Madhya Pradesh as well. These local elections are seen as a popularity test for the BJP before the national elections next April or May. We are going to talk to Sreeram Chaulia, who is the Dean of the Jindal School of International Affairs in New Delhi. It's nice to have you with us. These elections, I mean, anything in India, democracy-wise, is always on a large scale. How much of an indication do you think these 3 particular states really give us about the state of national affairs?
Not very much, I'm afraid, because, we have 29 states and only 5 went to elections this time for the provincial assemblies, and it's a mixed picture. I mean, it's not a rout for Prime Minister Narendra Modi's ruling BJP. They have held their vote shares in a number of states where they were ruling for the last 15 years. They have lost in a couple. I think it's a mixed outcome, and it's, I think, premature to read this as a semi-final leading to the final, which is the national elections due in 4 months' time. But one thing is for sure, I think Mr. Modi's appeal and image remain unrivaled at the national level. But I think the BJP will need to fix some chinks in the armor at the provinces, at the grassroots, where some of the local leadership may have, outspent its time and have done, service in the past. The governance record and the development record perhaps are not sufficient enough for the BJP looking forward. So that's what I would read into this election. Going to the national elections, simply talking about welfare schemes and development and governance may not be sufficient. And I think Narendra Modi still has that capacity to arouse the Indian public using nationalism and building a larger national narrative. And that is, I think, what will make a difference between the provincial level and the national level elections that are coming up.
So it sounds to me the way you describe the whole picture is that in India it is a proper mix between issues-based politics and personality-based politics. As you say, Narendra Modi at a national level is still very popular, but it's also, the electorate does look beyond that sort of popularity and wants issues actually dealt with.
That's right. I mean, in political science, we call it, pocketbook voting and sociotropic voting. And India is an interesting combination of both. I mean, people are looking at what kind of record has the BJP, which is ruling in most of the states in India, as well as the central government under Mr. Modi. What have they given us in terms of, economic benefits and development and infrastructure? But on the other hand, there is the old India, which is, based on caste and regional considerations, and those often actually hurt the BJP more, because you find that, the diversity of India, the BJP's slogan has always been to unite the country under, a nationalistic banner under Mr. Modi's leadership. Sometimes that meets the grassroots ground realities, which is far harsher and less idealistic. But nonetheless, I think between now and the general elections, the Prime Minister has his task cut out. He will need to go beyond the, welfareism and the populism and talk a bigger picture about how India is rising and how the people need to see him for 5 more years at least to be able to carry through on the promises he began with. Some of these states which they are losing today, I must mention, have a BJP rule for 15 years at the provinces. So, in a way, change is inevitable in democracy, and maybe it's good. And it's, I think, a necessary wake-up call before the big elections coming up for the national parliament in a few months.
Very interesting hearing from you, Sreeram Chaulia in New Delhi. Thank you.